All right, here we are with another 5-round sealed league event. This is just a league, so the 4-rounders are the competitive prelims. So the first thing there's no timer here, but I'm gonna pretend I have a timer. First thing I like to do is take out the lands; they don't matter. And then I want to start going through the cards and cutting the medium cards because good decks have good cards, and we don't have a lot of time. Generally 20 minutes. So I played with this card before, and it's bad. So we have a broker's ascendancy. So you want to spend the most amount of your time working on cards that are actually worth the effort. A lot of blue-black cards. We open a lot of green cards. These are, to be fair, these are pretty good green cards. It sucks they're double green. I'm gonna just assume red is unplayable because it always is unplayable. One day they'll make it so red is actually good and sealed. But it's not looking like that time will happen anytime soon. Yeah. There might be some gold-red cards that are okay, but... It sucks. I actually kind of... yeah, there are some... Corpse Appraiser. Yeah, there are some nice, like, red cards that are gold, but, like, as far as mono-red cards go, they just, like, don't exist in this format. Incriminate's the type of card that you need. You have ping effects, you can choose 2 of your opponent's creatures, kill one with the ping effect, and then, they have to choose the one that's left. I've not been impressed right out of town. Blue looks kind of good. That's a lot of... Oh, we have 2 Inspiring Overseers. How did that happen? I don't... This may be the first time I've ever opened them. That sucks that the rest of the white's kind of not there. Like, we have these exotic pets and civil servants and broker's ascendancy. Okay. So we're probably... We're going to be playing broker's ascendancy for sure. Let's just open up a copy of this so we know we can come back to this. We don't really want to be like blue, white, splashing green, as both of our good green cards are double green, but do I think the blue rare? I'm not sure what when you say blue rare, what does that mean? You talking about brokerage ascendancy? Cut your losses? No. And Noble Arsonist, Liminal Arsonist is so good, but I think we have to pretend we're going green, white, blue for now. Going for black for these Syndicate Infiltrators seems like a good idea, but we're gonna look at this for now. Don't really need Skycrier. It is a citizen. This bird is a citizen. I didn't even know that. These are soldiers, not citizens. This is the citizen. Okay. This is the citizen. Not a citizen. I still haven't figured out which characters are citizens and which are not. Is this a citizen? No. This is a citizen in case I wanted to tap my 6-drop to get my 2-drop +1/0 and lifelink. I'll have to cut like 3 more cards from this. Our mana fixing is black, red, green, black, red, blue, black, white, red, green, white. So we get 2 of these. And Aspara's Adjudicators. This double green card is probably not worth it at that point. The cleanup crew is also probably not worth it. Because we probably just want to play 1 forest. Oh no, we had 2 civil servants. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. If we don't play these civil servants, we're kind of low on good things, huh? I guess our whites outside of the Inspiring Overseer is not actually that good. This bird citizen is a citizen. Yeah, the civil servant's much better as a 2-drop. The backup agent is a citizen. That's the joke with civil servant. We definitely would want Rafine's guidance with all these connivers, right? Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I guess it's a kind of a weak card. Without the 2-drop to put the counter on, maybe it's not that good. I've not been impressed by this card. Let's look at a different color combination then. So black cards have some use. All right. A lot of different colors of cards here. It's looking like we don't really want to play white outside of the like 2/1 flyer and larcenist. And this fellow. Probably don't need all these things. The question is, I don't think we're gonna be red. Do we want to be digging up the body? Yeah, with Syndicate Infiltrator, we definitely do. So we gotta cut 6 more cards from this deck. Probably the Obscure Initiate, Wing Shield Agent, because our creatures already have flying. Extra Bruisers are just there for defense. They'll be able to attack eventually. Exotic pets. I don't know about these exotic pets. Do I have shield counters anywhere? I don't have shield counters. So it's just gonna maybe get a +1/+1 counter. So we gotta cut 4 cards. Probably don't need dagger because that's not how we're fighting. Um Hmm. Mass Bandits is mana fixing, but not quite the right type of mana fixing, I don't think. This Obscure Interceptor seems kind of medium. It's supposed to be like a 4/2 flash lifelinker, I guess. Seems like it just trades with whatever is on the ground, right? So I'm not going to discard a spell a lot of the time to this. Doesn't seem that great. Hmm. Definitely want the Spars Adjudicators. I think I want the Shakedown Heavy. Seems better than anything else I could be doing. Even a 6/4 Defender for 3 would be fine. Um, Definitely want the Pickpockets. Like, these are untouchable. These are untouchable. I think these are all untouchable. So it's looking like these. This isn't a Mana Ward, though. It only bounces spells. If it was a Mana Ward, then I'd be all about it. Doesn't bounce spells or... Like, doesn't bounce like non-land permanents like the Pickpocket does. Yeah, this seems like it just trades with like your opponent's 2-drop, which is not what I want my rare 4-drop to be doing. So now the question is, do we want Rafine's Guidance? Because we have a couple of self-mill cards. It's also a 1-drop. Couple of self-mill cards and 4 connive cards, and really only 1 card we want to be discarding. There's also this regulator. I mean, I guess we can just do a regulator instead. I'm not terribly impressed with this card most of the time. It's going to be like a fine 5-drop with a Make Disappear, maybe. Having a 6-drop for the Infiltrators wouldn't be terrible, but I don't really... Like, Mass Bandits is like the only one. We also have Run Out of Town. Could play Run Out of Town. I don't really need unblockable when all my creatures have flying, right? I've already got 8 flying creatures. 8 flying creatures, and I've already got 1 fish here. I don't know what the pets are offering me. Well, Orphene's Guidance doesn't really help with Delirium, right? Because if it did, then you're not getting the value out of it. Yeah, Wing Shield Agent, it seems pretty medium minus. It doesn't give itself flying, so my creatures already have flying, so I really don't know what the point of it is. Yeah, the green one can pump itself. It's kind of weird this one can't. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We could run Out of Town instead of the Regulator. I don't think so, though. Yeah, but like a 5-drop or a 1-drop instead of this Regulator, maybe. Not a whole lot to choose from in that regard. No 5-drops, and these 6-drops, it's cleanup crew or nothing, basically, and I don't want to be playing 2 forests. I'm only going to play 1 forest. One forest, then this card. This card seems pretty medium minus. Regulator seems like it's the worst card in the deck. So it's probably needs to be Rafine's Guidance. It's just, I don't know. feel like this is just kind of like not what we're doing. But maybe it's just going to be good enough. Obscure Initiate could be the last card as well. Having a lifelinker in the deck does help. A second lifelinker, I suppose. Well, I've got 4 Connive and Tainted Indulgence and Snoopy Newsy and Dig Up the Body. Maybe it's better just to have a Speakeasy Server instead. Speakeasy Server is just the worst card in your deck always. Kind of hate this card. Could be a Skycrier instead. Maybe Skycrier is just better than Obscure Initiate. Mass Bandits would help a lot with getting to Threshold for my Infiltrators. You can just try the Obscure Interceptor because it's a flash lifelinker. I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad. It's a rare, so like I just want to try it out and see if it's any good. I suspect it's terrible. Um, what are my other options? I do have 2 Strangles and a Light 'em Up. So what if do we have any other build viability here? Any other build viability? Want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Does this make a citizen? It does. Is this a citizen? The bandits are not citizens? No wonder they're bandits. Don't think I have enough going. Like, the Quick Draw Dagger seems like it's looking to stick with a Civil Servant. The Light 'em Ups don't seem that great. Seem like more of a sideboard card. Strangles are good. So what if... But it seems like we don't want to be playing... But we have to play Greenwich Broker's Ascendancy is the thing. So the right cards just don't seem like they're viable at all. Neither do the green cards, I don't think. Like, if we play green-blue... We'd have to splash white and red. No, but the Civil Servants are white, though. Yeah, I don't... This doesn't seem like it works at all. This doesn't seem like it works. I almost don't even want to be playing these. Be playing like Obscure Agent and something else. Yeah, this doesn't look very good. Now I'm basically just going way out of my way to get these strangles, which is whatever. Yeah, this looks like to be one of the build that we have. Really not impressed with anything that's going on here. I mean, not playing white like, not playing the Broker's Ascendancy seems like a non-starter to me. There may be a blue black red deck that incorporates 2 strangles and the light 'em up and the Fatal Grudge maybe. Though we don't really have much to sacrifice with Fatal Grudge, I don't think. I think we're just gonna go with this, and then if we'll change it. We're willing to change it in between if something else comes up. The Dig Up the Body could just be a bad exotic pets. Though it's more likely going to give us this. We don't have a ton of things to sacrifice. Where are the green cards? We didn't open any. I don't need help with my Broker's Ascendancy. I'll try to Dig Up the Body. I think the worst cards in this deck are the Dig Up the Body, the Obscura Interceptor, and probably the Backstreet Bruisers. Let's just try this deck though. Alright. Be on the play this time. I've really been unimpressed by Wing Shield. All my creatures already have flying, so I don't know why I want it. A 2/3 shield counter for 3 is not a good rate. I'm not sure this is better than just playing Broker's Ascendancy on turn 3. It probably isn't. We just don't deal with that. We just kill it. I don't mess around. I don't know what is the advantage of having a 2/3 shield counter for 3. So my opponent's 3/3s, I can block them once. Not really sure. My opponent's like when Jewel Thief is like a pretty common 3-drop. What am I doing? What do I want to get here? Probably an island. X2 creatures don't exist. Every 2-drop is a 3/3. Could bounce our Newsy with our Psychic Pickpocket. There's a case to be made to maybe hold on to make disappear instead, but a 5th land unlocks Adjudicators and Pickpocket, and when Broker's Ascendancy in play, I just want to play cards. Like Leviathan 102, here's what you don't understand about this 2/3 shield counter business. Do you think how it's gonna work out is you play like your opponent plays a 3/2 and you play Wing Shield Agent and they're gonna attack and you're gonna block And they're gonna be like, darn, you saw it. I wasn't expecting that. That's just not how it works. It's just not reality. Oh, 2 mana 4/4. So we could take up the body and play Backstreet Bruiser here. Next turn, if we draw a land, maybe we double spell. Seems like we could. If we don't draw a land, we can just play this. The alternative is to try to keep this in play and get to 7 mana and sack out and just like pay 7 mana, but Psychic Pickpocket or Inspiring Overseer. Pickpocket seems like it's going to be a better choice. The 6 mana 6/6 seems like be pretty good because our opponent has the Limousine and Hold for Ransom. Didn't see any targeted spells, but people who play Illuminated Virtuoso don't mess around normally. Maybe we just need to be safer and just board into red for Strangles. Strangle and light them up. Just not even interact with that card. I don't know how careful we need to be about not getting decked here. The Limousine can like flicker our connive cards. Okay. Looks like they have like a disdainful stroke. No? Okay. A lot of flyers from the enemy. Strangle looks like it's terminating against my opponent as well. They haven't played a creature that I can't kill with it. That was the first one. Although, I mean, maybe, I don't know what the I haven't really done any math or just examples of how often Echo Inspector is a 3/4. I would suspect it's more than half the time. Because you generally, the turn you play Echo Inspector, you would generally need to have the 3/4 body. What is this? +1/+1 dagger. Okay. +2/+1 enchantment. Alright. So, by Psychic Pickpocket and bounce the limousine, they have to chump one of these two. I'll leave, and I won't attack with this inspector. I'll have 3 blockers back, but this one doesn't have flying. I'll have 2 flying blockers. They play limousine. I have 1 flying blocker. They lose this one to chump blocking my 6/5. So they're at 3, and I'll have 5 creatures in play. Okay, that seems to be where the right call is. And I'll have 2 blockers, and I'm at 9. Even if they somehow remove 2 of my blockers by replaying the limousine and like another hold for ransom, they've only got 8 in the air and I'm at 9. Adjudicators store lethal. Can't they crew? Right? Whatever I target this, they can just crew, right? Well, even if they have a wrath, I've got still 3 creatures afterwards, right? Like, it's not great for me, but they could have had the X spell there, so I definitely need to block both. I almost feel like I should be boarding out of Broker's Ascendancy, but they're going to be boarding in Disenchants, right? And clean up crew. And like my red offers me these Strangles, which kills every card in their deck I saw. Am I thinking too deeply on this? I don't think I am necessarily. Urges seem terrible against their mono flyers. That is true, but I just need any creature to when I have Broker's Ascendancy. Hmm. These cards all seem pretty good here. Maybe go Naya. Maybe need to do Regulator. Regulator doesn't seem that good though. Yeah, I gotta believe they're gonna have like Broken Wings, right? Broken Wings is a common that a lot of things have. Yeah, I mean the +2/+1 aura is certainly weak against unsummon. Newsy is just a 2/2 is not special. I'd rather I mean I guess I could have played this to have white mana on turn 3. But I thought there might have been like a Jewel Thief or an Inspiring Overseer for me to counter. Just playing Newsy into Inspiring Overseer is pretty unimpressive. Not playing anything here. It seems like a warm welcome, maybe. I don't think I want to play this. I'm just going to discard the Pickpocket, although I can reserve the right to play it later to sacrifice to Grizzly Sigil. I discarded the Broker's Ascendancy, so that's not coming anytime soon. The 18 lands always looks good in this format. So they could have the 4-mana 2/1 flyer. If they do, I can just counter it. If they don't, I just continue on with my life. Are they just trying to set me up the bomb here? Willing to believe it. Maybe pickpocket my overseer. I don't understand how they can be met. I don't understand what they could have possibly have here. It's gonna bounce the overseer, I think. Oh, so they do have quick draw dagger. What are they doing? Okay. Well, they want the treasures. What do you got for me? All-seeing arbiter. Okay. Fortunately, we have a grizzly sigil for that. I think Skycrier is worse than a fish. This doesn't look suspicious either, because they know I bounce on Inspiring Overseer, but I'm going to play a tap land here. So it doesn't look that suspicious to me. At least I don't think it does. Oh, I could have made the fish. You might be right. You might be right on that. They want to trade here. I'd rather that not happen. They are leaving open Disdainful Stroke. We could try to play around it by just doing Expendable Lacking and Inspiring Overseer. But the cool thing is if they counter this, then it becomes a 3/3 anyways. Like if they just Disdainful Stroked it, then this thing would be a 3/3 and could attack it at the end of Overseer in the first place. I think we just pass with counter open. I don't know what they can really play to get out of this that I can't just counter with make disappear. Like an adjudicator on my pickpocket would buy them a turn, and I can counter that. That doesn't do anything. doesn't do anything either. It seems like they have a lot of auras for their in Virtuoso, you know, the double striking 2 mana 1/1 that we saw in the first game. Alright, that was a close. That All-Seeing Arbiter, I've never seen that play before. If we didn't have a Grizzly Salvage for that All-Seeing Arbiter, things could have been a little bit dicey that game. As usual, we mulligan 1 landers in our 18 land deck. Cool, I guess we keep it. Sure. Yeah, 1 land, 6 spells into 6 lands, 1 spell. Fortunately, the 1 spell was a pretty decent one. Not what we were looking for. Really wanted to not draw 2 more lands when we kept the 6 lander. Alright, that helps. We're only gonna have a 2/3, but the mighty Sawjack is here. Oh hey. Alright, new plan. Get a land out of our deck. Don't want those. That's another, like, the thing in this format is that with the cracklands, you know, playing a few more lands is not a big deal a lot of the time. Is you're, you know, over 5 or 6 turns. It's a very small amount, but you're gonna draw about the same amount of things. I put one on the bottom, but I shuffled it back in, right? So. I'm not sure this is even right to do. Because it can't even attack into this anyway. Oh, 2. Cycling the Jetmir's Garden might be better. Maybe not. I guess it's better to just attack here. I don't trading these 2 off is fine. Because now that the mighty high-rise Sawjacks have been defeated, now our flying armada can get through. Or they just don't even bother. Okay. The alternate casting cost on this is just 7 mana, so I don't have to play this. I don't have to play this. I'm just gonna cycle it. Running no attacks, no blocks is a curious method. I don't have lethal because they can just let me draw a card, right? So. Time to have a warm welcome. Cleanup crew. Good card. So many attended socialites and high-rise Sawjacks. Do you think the enemy's like Yes, this is why I have high-rise Sawjack in my deck. So the enemy's flying armada cannot defeat us. Only 4 lands left in my deck. Thanks for keeping track. Might just bounce our Overseer if we just draw another land. Maybe we'll bounce this then. Forces them to replay it. And then we can bounce it again and attack out. Plus, they have 9 cards in their hand. Oh, I was gonna say they can hit the discard to hand size, but finally, what we always needed, a card that isn't stopped by the Sawjack. The plan's coming together. The 2-mana 3/3s seem pretty excellent here. The Wing Shield Agent could just be good here. Although I guess Wing Shield Agent's downside because it turns our opponent's Sawjacks into gods. 4/3s for 3. Psionic Snoop, maybe? I don't know if I want to play more cards that walk into our opponent's plan of 3-mana 2/3 reaches. Could board in the dagger. If that's our opponent's plan, I've got bad news for them. Got a little bit of shiv action going on if you're trying to block with a Sawjack. He's an expert in saws, not shivs. The heavy is here. Heavy seemed to perform pretty admirably in the last game. Dealt 12 damage, then drew 4 cards, or 3 or 4 cards, I don't remember. I mean, in order for me to play a card, I have to cut a card. Could you tell me? I mean, I know what the worst cards in my deck are, and they are Dig Up and probably this fellow. But Fake Mark Seraph, yeah, I really don't know what the charms even do in limited yet, so I haven't seen very many of them. Oh, my shakedown heavy. Not long for this world. I'd probably just play the Obscure Interceptor even if they don't play a spell. Maybe not anymore. Okay, never mind. I'll cast this then. Probably the Sigil. It's either Sigil or Tainted Indulgence. Let's get rid of the Sigil. I wish I could play 2 spells this turn, but... Maybe it's better to play Echo Inspector and discard Tainted Indulgence here. I guess if I draw a land, I could discard a land, but it's better to play Overseer at that point. That's not a bad draw. Paragon of Mediocrity, it is here. Now we can get the party started. The Corrupt Court Official. 0, 1, 2, 3. So I guess we discard the Echo Inspector to get 4. Missed. We don't discard our forest. Did not. Didn't think it was worth attacking and trading my 4-2 for a 2-1 and 3 damage. Fine with trading these 2 off. Whether they double block or trade off the getaway driver or getaway car, I think I'm fine with either. Oh, they get it back on blocking? I don't even know that. That's alright. Doesn't change my play. I didn't know that worked on blocking, though. Kind of a cool card. Paragon of Mediocrity is here. We sideboarded this in. It seems quite excellent against the Sawjack Paragon of Mediocrity game plan our opponent features. We're gonna hold on to the planes and discard the Corrupt Court Official. Another reason to have not traded these two off is the Quick Draw Dagger. We have Make Disappear to counter their 6-drop, the Disenchants. We're getting paid to sit around, so we'll just sit around for now. Also at 33 life from our Obscure Initiate earlier and our Newsy earlier. Three down. Or 4-3 down, rather. Enemy has a lot of Terminates against the Inspiring Overseer deck. Could bounce our Overseer. I think it's better for me to bounce the Sawjack. Oh, it would pain me to discard this. I'm just not gonna do it. Don't think it's even worth it. Well, the land lets us keep up and make disappear, but the card that we're most afraid of is probably the 4-mana black, red, green instant. That this would have countered. I've played this game before, ladies and gentlemen. I know how the world works. You just say whatever is the worst case scenario for you and your opponent will have it. Psychic Pickpocket is really good. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I gotta be aware that when I say stuff like that, my opponent could actually have it. Wait, why are they just like? I guess I don't know. I mean, bad, desperate times and all that. But. Their last card in hand is probably the double green card. But yeah, like, even if they had the... Like, I could have played around Unleash the Inferno if I'd kept the land. So I could have played land and make disappear to counter it. But, this kind of exemplifies the issue with high-rise Sawjack, is that it's not actually... Spiders that don't pay you are not worth playing, basically. They printed spiders in the past that have, like, a passive. There was like a spider in the past. It was like a 1 black green like wither 1/4 reach that whenever you put a -1/-1 counter on something, like drain for 1, right? You know, there's a lot of things. There have been spiders in the past that pay you, and if your spider doesn't pay you, then it's really not worth investing any time in, because the magical scenario where your opponent like has this like Echo Inspector and they attack into your high-rise Sawjack, and then you block, and they're like, oh no! And then they put their Echo Inspector in the graveyard, and you put your high-rise Sawjack in the graveyard. It's like the best case scenario, and that doesn't happen, right? And in reality, your opponent just sits there until they draw a Quick Draw Dagger, or they just unsummon your guy and attack out, and then you're committed to having, because all of your defenses were in this spider basket, you have to like replay them, and that often takes up your entire turn. And then they can actually at that point afford to just trade with it, and then you're just even further behind. So it's just, don't invest in spiders. Spider stock is at an all-time low. The correct way to fight flyers is the 5-mana 4/5 reach, because you actually get a lot of bang for your buck there, and lifelink. Lifelink is or just like hitting them harder and faster are your solutions, but the Sawjack is never going to be among your answers to a flying armada, especially since, like, you know, I even have 4-mana 5/5 flyers, right? So seems okay. We're still missing anything to do, but I'm sure we'll draw some non-lands at some point. Yeah, Crawl Harpooner is an example of a good spider. That and Bamboo Grove Archer are both examples of good spiders. They're not bad on rate, and they have like they're like split cards where they can kill enemy flyers as well. I think in this format, not playing a tap land on turn 1 is a sign of weakness. I didn't play one on turn 1, so it means my hand is probably pretty weak. I don't even know what 2-drop I would even counter. They go for a swamp here. I mean, there's not even a 3-drop I care about. Out of these 2 colors, don't even know what 3-drop I'd care about. That's very suspicious. I'd discard Tainted Indulgence there, right? Because I think I'd just rather have a creature. If I don't draw a land here, then I'll just have to leave it when they disappear, right? So like, if I draw black mana, I'd rather play shit down heavy than leave open than draw 2, discard 1. It'd be different if I had like 3 cards in my graveyard and like maybe I was gonna be close to drawing 2 cards, but playing 4 tap lands in the first 4 turns of the game is not a great start. Speaking of starts, what's up, start? Looks like we're tapping out the rest of the game, so I guess we're discarding our mana leak. It's more of a quench than a mana leak or a miscalculation, but I just call it mana leak because I want to call it mana leak. Question is, do we block if they attack? I think the answer is no. I think we just take it. We could have discarded the adjudicators there instead of the may disappear. It would have been a reasonable line. There's no point in playing like as it is. There's no point in playing shakedown heavy. Because it's worse than either of my 5-drops. But shakedown heavy plus make disappear is better than adjudicators. So I probably should have discarded adjudicators there. Because I have the pickpocket. If I didn't have the pickpocket, I would of course keep the adjudicators. Enemy has played 6 tap lands. I feel like that may be a mite too many tap lands. This is 9 and plus 11. How do you fix a sound violent game? You can't anymore. You used to. I mean, you may be able to. I wasn't able to figure it out. They like about at the start of Neo, they changed it. Start of Neo, they changed it so that the sound files can't be customized. Not bad. Dig of the body, not great here, but I guess, I don't know, you should really count games where you have an active broker's ascendancy. You should dig up the bodies for the games where you don't have broker's ascendancy. I kind of feel like they might have the quick draw dagger or some reason or some way to pump the brazen upstart, because didn't they attack into 4/5 with it? I mean, it was right for them to attack no matter what, but I'm definitely gonna block this turn. Okay. Um. Yeah, so like I said, the worst cards in the deck are the Obscure Interceptor and Dig Up the Body. Factory Bruisers seem like they're gonna be okay here. I was thinking about replacing these two with Cleanup Crew and Masked Bandits. Let's try that out now that we're a game up. The classic Jetmir's Garden Snoopy Newsy. Classic tale. Enemy seems kind of slow, so we're not too concerned about getting run over, I guess. Drawing a swamp for turn 4 would be nice. If we don't, that's okay. Enemy with the tap land opener. The Brazen Upstart with the 2 tramway stations is a curious deck construction. Seems like enemy open like 10 non-basic lands and are just playing them all. Ill Opinions is more of a defensive card as our deck has a lot of flyers in it, I'm assuming. That was a mistake playing the forest there, because if I drew exactly Backstreet Bruiser into a swamp, I can't play 2 spells next turn. Should have played the island there instead of the forest. I was thinking that I could discard extra islands to my pickpockets, but I needed to play the second island anyways. Big mistake there. Hopefully it doesn't cost us. I mean, it would, like I said, it would only cost us if we drew a swamp here exactly. Didn't draw a swamp, but we did draw Cleanup Crew, which seems like it might be a good spot here. Certainly better than the blue black white card or the dig up that were normally in the deck, right? I think we might just modify our deck after this to just make that permanent. I kind of want to discard a non-land to this, so I'm just going to. Because I want the Backstreet Bruiser to be able to attack next turn if I play the other pickpocket. Cleanup Crew definitely seems worth it. Plus, it's just a 6 mana card. It'll help me get my threshold easier for 3 threshold cards we have. Oh, we have 4 threshold cards. Tainted Indulgence, 2 Infiltrators, and a Snooping Newsy. Enemies seem to be mana screwed in their mostly non-basic land deck. It's possible they weren't playing 18 lands. If they aren't, they probably should be. 18 land format. I mean, I'm playing 18 lands and I've been Flooded a couple of games and I still doing okay, right? So let's go ahead and make this green mana change permanent. Alright, so we changed it to add more green cards to our deck. Going into this round. Keep this hand. 18 land deck. Just try to draw another land. Get Inspiring Overseer. We draw an island. We go to Echo Inspector. We go from there, right? So. And hopefully we draw a land here in our 18 land deck. Can we pull it off? Can we pull off a third land? I'm not even asking for it to come into play untapped. This is not a good sign. Alright. I need another land. I'm willing for it to come to play tap this time. I don't even know if we have any assist in our entire pool. Strangling a 2/1 is not a show of strength. Alright, see, I said it. I'm willing for it to come to play tap this time. You gotta talk to your deck. You gotta sweet talk it. If you don't sweet talk it, you're not gonna know what they want. They're just gonna give you a random card unless you tell them. That's a lot of strangling going on. Not a fan. Willing to be a tap land here as well. What on earth? Okay. Got me. I think I'm going to be tapping out the rest of the game. They have a Glamorous Outlaw. I'll discard this. They play a land here, then the Make disappears and encounter the Glamorous Outlaw. We'll give them Threshold, but not a fan of that. Enemy's deck seems quite good. Exotic Pet seems good against the Plasma Jockey. What's the mana value of this card? Is it 5 or 7? I guess it's 5. I guess it's 5. That was a good draw. Okay. We should probably be looking now. What are the outs we have in our pool to Evelyn other than countering it? They just drew that. That wasn't in their hand before. That's pretty good. I didn't think about just keeping our creatures back, and that would have been a better play, huh? For the double green. Might bet a better line. Just run the no attacks this turn. It certainly doesn't put nearly as much pressure on our opponent. But because I knew they had the Rafine Silencer, which is a good answer to this, either one of these is kind of... Although I guess they discard a spell for that to be the case, but... They didn't discard a spell. Holy moly. I don't know why I didn't... Gaining a life is not terrible. So I guess I draw the card now, because if I draw a Gizli Sigil, I win. That's not bad either. They have no cards in hand. It's probably better for me to wait here. Although, I forced them to attack with a Newsy. I forced them to chump attack with a Newsy. If I attack with the Infiltrator here, and I go to 1. That seems better. Yeah, that seems better. They have to chump attack with a Newsy here. Gain 3 life or they're dead. Wow. That is unlucky. 2 creatures off of 3 mana. They drew it for this turn. If they had Exhibition Magician, they wouldn't have sacked the land. They drew it for this turn. Need to draw Forest. Now I need to draw Grizzly Sigil. That is really unfortunate. Does Expendable Lackey save us? So I need to play the island, because if I draw Expendable Lackey, then I can draw Expendable Lackey or Grizzly Salvage to win. So I can bounce the fish, and then I have 4 blockers. Unlucky. Alright, sucked. This card is so bad, and our opponent is playing it too. That's unfortunate. not have gone any worse. Could not have gone any worse there. If we could have cast a cleanup crew, we maybe win that game. Yeah, because I could have adjudicators, my land, and cast a cleanup crew. I could have played it slow. I don't have answers to that, Evelyn. I think my answer is they don't draw it. I have one ready to rumble. I guess I can obscure Interceptor, the spell back to my hand that they take from me. But then I have a 4-2. I have a 3-1 or a 4-2 versus a 2-5 in the ground, which is already just like not great. I think my plan is for them to not draw it. I think our deck is their removal is Strangle, which does not match up well with our creatures. Maybe we need to dig up the body to make sure we have Threshold. It's good against sleep. It's good against the sleep the fishies card too. Yeah, that wasn't clean. That game was not Cleanup Crew's fault. That was my fault. Can't believe Exhibition Magician is what did me in. They had to have 2 blockers there. Not a bad opener. Adjudicators into these, which are all strangle proof. Fair. If I discard this Matrix of here, I'm committed to losing to that 2-5. I think I am. I'm familiar with that card. How you doing? Didn't mistap our mana because our black source is our white source. Discard or sleep with the fishies. Okay. Think we need to kill that shakedown heavy here. We have 6 in the air twice with a falter. The overseer doesn't really do anything for us now that it's already attacked for 2. That sucked. Pretty good for the enemy there. They attack, I'm not blocking. I know they have 2 strangles. They have the X spell? No, they already played the X spell. Okay. It's pretty good for them. Is it locked down twice? I actually have no idea. Pretty awesome draw. Six mana 4/5. Oh, this thing. Island and a bruiser. I guess I could bounce this back to my hand. I feel like presenting lethal is probably a better choice than. They hit the triple block and I kill these 2. Doesn't seem like a bad trade to me. This thing can't attack anyway. Okay. Oh, did I tap in such a way? I shouldn't have tapped my forest. Now I can't play Broker's Ascendancy. Doesn't end up mattering. Waterfront district? That's a land, right? Yeah, just lands. They lose their 4/5 when they attack like this. Oh, they got murder. That is really unfortunate for us. And a dig up the body. That's, I guess, game over. They have 2 murders in their deck. I guess that's just game over. I can't actually do anything now. I told you I had no outs to Evelyn, so we are finitoed. Cool. Guess we lose. Nothing we can do here. Sucks. Alright, final round. Lost against Evelyn. The double murder Evelyn deck did not work out for us. We'll get a swamp here. We may have thrown away game 1 in that one too, because we didn't play it slow and used our adjudicator to get a second green for our cleanup crew. So it's possible that the result of that match was entirely our own undoing. Play the Backstreet Bruiser here. I've been liking the Bruiser so far. You're playing us to win with flying creatures. I mean, outside of my opponent's deck in that last match, every deck is removal light. Looks like Backstreet Bruiser is doing a number on our opponent. I mean, this is not going to be a 3/3 for a long time. This is already a 3/3, and it will be able to attack in 2 turns. Been discarding Tainted Indulgence a lot. I don't think it's Tainted Indulgence's fault. Just seems to be the card I discard the most. Three Fiend's Guidance. Yeah, could be. I don't think the card is that bad though. Try to end the game fast. Seems reasonable. No, that's what I expected. But that just means that I'm gonna just Grizzly Sigil to pump this. That could have been bad. All right. Do we want run out of town? Because having a 4-drop is actually not that bad of a deal either. If I want run out of town instead of the indulgence. My 4-drops never go to the graveyard, right? For threshold. It's really hard for them to go to the graveyard. You could try guidance. Either guidance or run out of town or exotic pets. Try run out of town. It's definitely like the last card in our deck, right? So I think, do we keep these hands? I mean, these types of hands are way better if I have Tainted Indulgence in my deck. This is like perfect mana though. Perfect mana and a Newsy. I think you have to mulligan these. Like any hand with the 3-mana 2/1 is gonna be better. Not a great hand. I just wish I would draw Tainted Indulgence, right? Lands would be nice. They were a green-blue deck game 1. No, they're just 2-balling me. Maybe I should have killed the Gold Hound. Did I not take it seriously enough? And I should have Grizzly Sigiled it when I had the shot. The lands would be a good draw. I said a plains would be a good draw. I said planes would be a good draw. Not sure what our plan is. I don't think we drawn or milled it. No, we milled Expendable Lackey like in the first round, I think. Maybe we should have, I mean, clearly we should have kept the first hand with how this played out, huh? Clearly. Maybe we don't need the mass mana, it should be Tainted Indulgence. Not sure. Mass mana helps a lot getting the green mana, but it's too big. The Goldhound cannot be trusted. An attack with the 2/3 guy is gonna die anyways. It's not a good sign for us. Oh man, they got us. Got us good. Sad times. We weren't dead. We could have Grizzlied and then maybe we drawn an tap land and bounce the 6-drop. We weren't dead, but I was done with that game. Alright. Let's try that one again. Yeah, drawing Expendable Lackey would certainly help. Help our connives make the connive discards a little bit easier. The run out of town seems pretty good against that 2-mana instant our opponent played in the previous game. The type of deck I have is certainly a deck I would not consider playing in a PTQ. Mana's not good enough, don't have enough for interactive spells. Certainly a round 0 drop deck, despite having Broker's Ascendancy. Mana's just not good enough. Yeah, just not having, like, Grizzly Sigil being my only way to interact with my opponent's creatures. I mean, there's Psychic Pickpocket, I guess, and Adjudicators, but... Well, I did say I wanted to draw Inspectable Lackey, so here we are. In our final game with this pile of cards. Are we capable of defeating our opponent? Not a bad draw. I think this is better than playing Backstreet Bruiser. I think we'll play Backstreet Bruiser on turn 5. along with our fishy from our expendable lackey. Okay, maybe a new plan. Maybe we're discarding expendable lackey and just getting a fish on turn 4, leaving up in mana the make disappear. I couldn't block. Even if I wanted to, it wouldn't be a good shot at his first strike. The mighty Goldhound. That's a good card. Okay. I'm going to run the risk of missing some damage here and just not attack with our Inspiring Overseer because this thing has lifelink, right? So there's a chance they don't attack. There. That was a good draw. This is game 3. Don't even know if I'd attack with this because it doesn't actually doesn't erase Sanguine Spy very well. On-tap land would be pretty good next turn. If you're jumped on tap land, I still think I played the run out of town. Or another run out of town, the Infiltrator. Probably don't attack the Shakedown Heavy. Maybe I do. Maybe I just attack the Shakedown Heavy and not the Inspiring Overseer. Maybe. If I draw an untapped land and they play the 6-drop stacking the Goldhound, it's pretty good for us. Attack with Sanguine Spy, I probably just don't even block. Okay. Probably that +2 Owen treasure card now. A +2 Owen treasure card's kind of annoying here. If I attack, they can +2 Owen treasure this. Double block it. Not a great spot. Maybe I just don't even attack. Drawn on tap land, I just expend a lackey maybe. Oh, that makes things a lot easier. This is like the second time I ever cast this, right? The other time I couldn't even cast it, but didn't have white mana until after they played all their spells. Card's pretty damn good. So we'll do this and make a fishy. I think Extract the Truth is a card you should main deck, which is they sack an enchantment or you like Thoughtseize them for 2 mana. That card is really good. They might just like +2/0 this thing and then sack it to Surveil 1. That's what I'm guessing. If it's the only spell in their hand. If it's not, then maybe they're considering how to go about this. Oh, these are both pretty awesome. Is they can quick draw a dagger to corrupt court official and second light him up to kill my 6/4. Like no matter what, I gotta take this. What, they didn't do this? I guess they're gonna attack me first. They drew a land. That's good. Good news. They could have done this in a turn. Unless they think they're killing these two? This is a weird play. I don't even know if Shakedown Heavy was better than the 2/2/1 flyers, but because now you can't attack with a Sanguine Spy. Actually, Bruiser, despite never attacked this game, and looks like it's probably never going to attack, seems like it's done a lot. Like Backstreet Bruiser, I think, has gone pretty up in my evaluation. It's really oversized for its cost, and it makes it so um, you can have time to deploy your flyers and still have blockers. It's also a large creature that you can double block with, because often what happens is people have dagger in their deck, so they attack with all your 2 and 3 drops into your Backstreet Bruiser. Clearly they have it. And then you can play your Echo Spectre and turn 4, then just double block their card. I'll trade a fish for this, right? That seems like a reasonable trade for me. I don't really want to trade this for this. In case they have prize fight, I guess I need to do this now. Nice. Went 4-1 with that. I think we had no shot of beating the one that we lost to, so that was kind of just a 4-1 with this deck. I think probably about expected. We are quickly. I think the cleanup crew is probably worth main decking, and so is the second forest. The last match was potentially winnable. I did punt that one game. Yeah, we we could have definitely played that game differently, but with the cleanup crew. First time I've opened Inspiring Overseer, I think. The worst cards in the deck were Tainted Indulgence, Mass Bandits. Those are clearly the two worst cards. Everything else is about what I expected. I don't know if I think the rest of the cards are correct, and the cards that I could be playing are all right. Like, could play Topiary Stomper. Could play Run Out of Town. Probably needed to play Run Out of Town. Like Run Out of Town, Topiary, Stomper. I didn't really want the exotic pets. They were really nothing. I wasn't really looking for that. The Interceptor will look pretty awful. Seems like it might just be a sideboard card. Just like that, unless like both have what it does is just not that great. Just remanding for 4 mana. Like, I'd rather draw a card than loot and have a 3/1 or a 4/2 life. Like, I don't know. It's just it, it it trades down with everything, right? In combat. Everybody like the whole joke of the way I build my deck is that 2/2s are blanks against me because it doesn't trade with a single card in my deck. I mean, look at my deck. A 2/2 literally does not trade with a single card in my deck. Not a single one. It trades down. Right? And so if you build your deck in such a manner that cards like light 'em up or just 2/2s, right? Are all just gonna always trade down. Then you just have this random card in your deck that just like doesn't do that. Well, the thing is, my creatures aren't going to the graveyard, but they all flying. So maybe Dig Up the Body was better than Tainted Indulgence. Maybe. Just like all my creatures have flying, so it's just they don't go to the graveyard. They have Connive. This isn't a draw 2 unless you sack a creature. I don't have any creatures I want to sacrifice. We got one lackey. But yeah. I think that's if our mana base was better, this deck becomes phenomenal, right? If our mana base is better, because if we can play Topiary Stomper, if we have like an extra like green, white, blue like fetch land, if we can play Topiary Stomper, and then that makes it so that our mana is way better, and we have an extra threat and an extra 2-for-1 in our deck, and that may let us play Rafine's Guidance, which is Maybe Rafine's Guidance isn't as good as maybe either Dig Up or Exotic Pets, but like basically if we had a little bit better mana, then we can play an extra rare, which would definitely increase the power level of our deck. But yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the other sealed events that I have posted on YouTube, and like and subscribe and comment so we can beat the algorithm together.